Johnson's rules. Now we were discussing the steps of the Johnson's rule. What, how we can process the machines and with the jobs. Like the step for applying the Johnson rules are, the first step is list the jobs and the processing times. You have to list down all the times which is taken by every machine and the different jobs, right? So list down the jobs and the processing time. Create the list of jobs with their corresponding processing time on the different machines. Like if it's passing from the two machines, M1 and M2, write down the processing time for each machine. This is the first step as per the Johnson rule. The second step is to identify the job with the processing time, shortest processing time. So you have to find out on which job the time is the smallest, shortest, least, right? From the list of the job, then you have to find out the shortest processing time as the time which can be earlier. With this, we have to able to find the sequence of the job, that which machine, on which machine, which job will be on the first part or on the second part. But on the third point, we have to decide it if the shortest processing time is on machine 1, then the job will be done as possible in the sequence. But if the shortest time is on the machine B, that is machine 2, then we place the job at the last as possible in the sequence. So you have to remember this third point, that is the sequence of the job, right? Fourth point for the job sequence as given by the Johnson is remove the job from the list. Once the job is done up and given the sequence, then you have to remove that job, right? And place in the sequence where it is placed down and remove from the list. Now coming up to the next point, that is the fifth point, and the fifth step is repeat this process. Like you have to repeat until all the sequence has been done in a proper way, right? Now, what is the last point is you have to find out the sequence. When you have find out the sequence, then execute that sequence. Now you have to process your jobs according to the sequence that is derived from the above step. Then finally you have to find out what you have to find out the total elapsed time and the total idle time for each job. Right? This is your important thing that you have to execute your sequence and you have to find the above jobs in a proper and effectively manner. Now with these points, I'm just telling you one practical example so that you are to given a more good example like how we have actually following these steps. Like in processing the jobs, when we are given a job, we have different types of jobs which we have to follow. There are different types of activities or the sequence problem we can follow. The first one that we have to follow is the problems when we have the different types of problems with n jobs, and that is through we have n jobs, but we have to follow through how many machines? One machine. The first situation is this. Like we have the problem of n jobs with one machine. Now, if we are talking about the second type of problem, is the problems. What are the problems? Problems with n jobs. We have different types of jobs, and that passing through two machines. Now, that is the next category that is passing from two machines. Third category types of sequencing problem is that is problem that we have the problems with n job. We have different types of jobs, but we are passing through how many machines we are passing through? Three machines. Now we have taken a next condition like three machines. Fourth category of the problem which we have to discuss in this situation is the problem with n jobs, like you have a number of jobs, and you have to process through how many machines? Now we are taking one machine, two machine, three machine. Now we are taking through m machines, right? N jobs, see it is written over there, n jobs and m machines. Now we were discussing about the fifth category of the types of the sequence problem is that is we are dealing with the problems with n job we have n jobs through one machine, which we have taken n jobs to one machine we already taken, but in this we have given the dependent, we have given the dependent setup time. And this is also done as an assignment problem we have discussed in this case scenario. The six categories are again very important category. In this, what we discussed about the problem with two jobs. Now it is given two jobs. In the other situation, all the n jobs are given. Now we are taking up two jobs, but the problem is followed through M machine. M machines. So this is the category. So different types of sequence. These are what we have discussed about types of sequencing problems. What are different types of sequencing problems? So we have discussed, just having a recap, we have the problems of n jobs, one machine, n jobs through two machines. We have n jobs through three machines, n jobs through m machines. And one more thing is there, n jobs with one machine, but dependent set of time is given as per the assignment program. And the problems with the two jobs. Now it is given two jobs through m machine. So these are the categories, the different types of sequence problem. Today we will do about the n jobs, like there are different categories of jobs, but the two machines are there. So first we will discuss about the problem or the types of sequence problem on the second one. Like problem with the n jobs, like we have given a number of jobs J1, J2, J3, J4, and we have given a two machines. Like two machines over here can be M1 and M2 it is given to us. Now we will solve this type of questions. Okay. Start doing this question. We can have a pen and paper with you so that you can also practice with me as I'm doing with you. Okay. So start doing it. Shall I rub this all and then we will do our next fresh question. Okay. So what we have given like two machines and the machines is passing from the different jobs. Say example, I've taken in this example the five, right? We have taken the five jobs that will passing from the two machines. Now the processing time is given to us. Now note down the portion of this, like we have given machine one, M1 and M2. And the machine one is passing from the different jobs, say example J1, J2, J3, J4, and J5, right? Machine 1, when passing from the J2, it will taking a time of, say, example, 5 minutes. From J1, it is taking 1. From J3, it is taking a 9 minutes, 3 minutes, and it is taking, say, example, a 10 minutes. And when passing from machine 2, it is taking, J1 is taking a 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and 4. This is the processing time given to you, right? Now, what you have to do, you have to find the job sequence. Our main function is to find out the job sequence. The first point we have to find it over here. The second, we have to find out the total elapsed time. We have to find out the total elapsed time. The third, we have to find out the idle time by machine A. Here it is a machine 1. And idle time, fourth point is idle time for machine 2. If these are the points which we have to calculate in this question. So before doing this, what we have to do, we have to start with the proper sequencing concept which we have just discussed. So first, starting this question, I'm starting over here the solution of this question. What we have to do, first we have to arrange it in a proper, like I have just done in this way, M1 and M2 I've written over here in front of you, and then we just made it our job sequence over here, like sequencing. Processing time is given to you. Here we can write it processing time, right? Processing time we are given in minutes. It is all given in minutes. Okay. So in the job sequence, for the processing time we have given sequences, we have to find a sequence. We're just writing out what are the jobs we have to find out. Okay. Like we have given a J1, J2, J3, and J5, right? And we have given the different machines that is passing from the two machine. J1 is processing with the 5. I'm just writing the figure and the vertical comparatively to the horizontal one. 3 and 10 is given 2, 6, 7, 8, and 4. Now, what we have to do, we have to find the sequence. Like, what we have to do, we have to find the sequence of the J1, J2. By just preparing a one box over here in front of you so that I am able to find out the sequence of the job. Now, we have to find the J1 from J1 to J5. So, 5 boxes will be there. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I have to fill this in the sequence. Like this is my job sequence, which I have to find out. So then what we have to use the rule? We have to find out the shortest one If the shortest one is from the first machine, we will process it on the as early as possible, that is from the starting one. And if it is the shortest one is from the machine two, then we will start from the last. That is the as at the end it can be possible. Okay, so first find out the shortest one. Hope you have been able to have a look on this that the shortest one is on the one. Like I'm changing the color of the pen so that it is more visible to us. Yes. Then that means it is on the J2 and it is the lowest one, that is the one. So we are writing J2 over here, right? And just delete this line so that that means the job 2 has been done, right? Now the second step is to find out the next least processing time. So the next least processing time is 2, that is on the machine number 2. See, it is on the machine number 2. Therefore, we will start or make a sequence from the end. That is, J1 will be come up from the end. Then we have to just delete this J2, J1 also. Now, finding out the next least one is again number 3. That is on J4. So, J4 again, if I am deleting it over here, and it will become over here on the starting one after J4, right? Now just have a look on the least one from the remaining jobs, then it will become on the machine 2, that is a 4. And it is again on the machine 2, therefore it will be start from the last. And that means J5 will come over here and we have to delete this J5. Now remaining only one job is there, that is J3. And the but obvious the least is from 7 and that is on from machine. So whatever the point is this, of this point is there that J3 will come on the third position. So the first point, that is the finding the job sequence, we are able to find out the job sequence for the both the machines. Right, from that means we have to first process the job number 2, then job 4, then job 3, then job 5, and then the last we have to process in the job number 1. So first question have been solved up. Now coming up to the next portion, that is what we have to find. We have to find out the total elapsed time, right? Now scrolling down the next point, that is we have to find out, we have to find the total elapsed time, right? I'm just writing over here with you only, so you are also starting the question with me only. Okay, so write it over here, the total elapsed time. What will be the total elapsed time? Now, what they have to do, we have just preparing one like a table format so that it will be a good presentation for you. Just write it over here, a total elapsed time and one sequence. Prepare the sequence for that. That it is your sequence of the job, and the sequence of the job is J2, J4, J3, J5, and J1. And with that, we have to process the two machines, write it over here, M1, the in and out time for the M1. And then we have make a second box that is M2 and in and out time for the M2, right? So this is all what we have done over here, and just prepare the total sequence time. What is the total sequence times over here which we have given on the question, which we have just find out right now? What is the sequence? J2. So write it over here as J2, that is your first sequence, then J4, your second one, then J3, J5, and last will is J1. So this is how we find out table, or we just presented one table so that we can find out the total elapsed time as well as the total idle time for both the machines M1 and M2. Right. So the total elapsed time we have to start up as we have given in the question all the processing time. So start up with that. See, when we start up something, when the machine is going in certain job, definitely, or some job is going in one machine and processing it, then the starting time is always 0. Like in time is the processing time, we start up at the initial point, that will be 0. And when we are coming to the out, like we have to make process it, we have to come out, see the time what the job 2 is taking. So for one machine, job 1 is actually taking how much time? 1 minute, right? So over here is 0 plus 1, that it will be out in 1 minute. Right. Now coming up to the when we are going to the job 2. The job 2, that's the sequence of the second job will start when the job 2 is wind up. And job 2 is wind up at 1. So we write it over here as 1. And the processing time for the job 2, that is sorry, job 4 is 3. So then 1 plus 3, then it will become out in 4. How it comes up? 1 plus 3. Then the 4 will come out. Now coming up to the J4, J3. Now we are coming to the third sequence that is J3. Now this will be come up over here 4. Now find out J3 is taking how much time? We have given 9. 9 minutes is taken. So 4 plus 9, that will come up 13 over here, right? Hope you understand it. 4, that will be the in time, and after completing the 9 minutes processing time, then the 13 will come up. I just write it over here for your more helping purpose, like 1 plus 3 it come up 4, and over here 4 plus 9, that is 13. Right? Again, the 13 will come up over here, and then what? The J5 is taking a 10 minutes, so we will over here it is 23. How it is 23? Again, I'm writing for your help purpose 13 plus 10, that will be 23. Now again the starting time, once it is out, then only it will go to the next job, or the next job will go on that machine. So that means 23, and J1 is taking a time of 5 minutes. Then 23 plus 5, that will be 28. So over here will be 28. In bracket you can write it for your help purpose 23 plus 5. Right? That means 20. Now, the same machine or the same job, when I'm talking about the job 2, J2, it will be passing from M1, then only when the M1 work is completed. When the work of the J2 is being completed in J1, that is the machine 1, then only it will be processing to on the job, on the machine 2, right? Now, just having a look on this, the J2 has been out at 1, right? Then only when it will complete it out, or it will be wind up in the machine 1, then only it will be come up in the machine 2. So though it have to start at 1 minute. That means the machine 2 definitely has to wait for 1 minute for processing your work. Right? Now coming up to the machine 2, please have a look on the processing time of the J2. Of the J2, that is this J2, and for J2 we have to check the machine 2 time, and it is 6. So what we have to do, 1 plus 6, that is over here is 7. In bracket, you can write it 1 plus 6. Right? Now what is this? Please have a look. J4 has completed their work at 4. Right. But still the machine 2 is working at 7. So we have to write it over as 7. Right? We have to start up at 7. Now the J4 process time is like this 8. So 7 plus 8, that is 15. You can write it over here. 7 plus 8, that is 15. Right? Now coming up this again will see example, see why it is written over here in this way. And now you have to write it this again over here as 50. Now what is this? It's J3. J3 for the machine 2 is 7. So we write it over here. What we have to write it over here? 15 plus 7, that is 22. And in bracket you can write it 15 plus 7. Right? Again, it's 22. Now it's a point to be understand over here. Please have a look on the proper way. I'm just changing the pen so that make it more highlight to you. See, it is 22, right? This is 22. But the J5 work is still going on and the processing time is 23. Now, what is this? That machine 2 has to wait for 1 minute over here. Then only he can come and start up their work. So now the their work is 23 only. But because the machine 2 has started their work earlier, that is 22, and the still J5 work on the machine 1 is going on. That is 23. So the machine 2 has to wait for 1 minute. So I hope it is clear. Now we have to processing further. That is J5. The processing time for J5 is for machine 2 is 4. So 23 plus 4, that is 27 over here. And in bracket you can write it 23 plus 4. Right? Now again a point over here I'm just highlighting. C is 27 and it is 28. That means machine 2 have to wait for again 1 minute over here, right? And then only we can start the work. So we will write it over as 28, not 27, as the machine 1 work for the job 1 is still going on. So the machine 2 have to wait for 1 minute, and this is 28, and 28 for J1 is 2 minutes. 28 plus 2, that is 30. So in bracket you can write it 28 plus 2, that is 30. So this 30, this indicates, now what does this indicate? This is your total elapsed time. Right? Now I'm writing over here the step by one step. Like what we have find out? We have find out the total elapsed time total elapsed time for both the machine, that is, or machine 1 and machine 2, and the 5 job sequences is given is 30 minutes. Right? We have find this. Now what we have to find also, we have to find out the idle time. Before starting with the idle time, just having a look what is actually the total time taken by machine 1. If I have to find out, see it is given to us. I'm just making it in one box so that it is more clear to you. Just make it in a box and just processing with this time. Now just add it. uh, I'm just processing the test. Make a total of all these figures. Like for the M1, how much actually time is taken up? Just total or down all the things. 5 plus 1 plus 9 plus 3 plus 10. That will become up 28 minutes. Alright. Same with 2 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 4. That will become up 27 minutes. Right. And the total elapsed time it is given to you is 30 minutes. So what we are able to find out over here, we are able to find out the idle time for machine A. Over here it is given machine 1 will be 30 minus 28 minutes. That will be 2 minutes. As the total time taken by machine 1 is 28, you can have a look from here also. Therefore, they have to wait for 2 minutes. And the third point, that is idle time for, if I'm talking about machine 2, will be, it is total elapsed time, that is 30, and the machine 2 completes their work basically on how much time, that is on 27 minutes. They just wind up all their work. That means they have to wait for 3 minutes. Focus on fine. Here we are able to find out the total elapsed time. We are able to find out, first we have to find the job sequence. I just marking over here. First we have able to find out the job sequence. Then we have find out the total elapsed time. Third we have find out the idle time for machine 1 and idle time for machine 2. So this is the way we are able to do. But sometimes the question sometimes ask you to find out, like I want to know about the visual presentation of all these things, or I just want to have a graphical presentation. Can we do that graphical presentation? Definitely we can do. And how we do that graphical presentation, I'm just showing you with you. Again, you can take a pen and paper with you and just start preparing a graphic presentation with you. It's again presentation also, as we have discussed in the class, that we have to present sometimes in a graphical presentation. Right. So total elapsed time is 13. So I'm taking a 30 point. You can take it 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. But I'm taking a gap of, say, example 2. Right. We have written 2 over here. 2, 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. A gap of 2, 2, right? 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28 and 30. That means total elapsed time is 30. So we have taken 2 and we have given two machine M1 and M2. So I'm writing over here with the two machines M1 and M2, and then we have to show it how it will work up, right? So just make it like I'm using the same pen right now, and then I change the color. Make it till 30. Yes, it is till 30 in a two box. Say example this way. Yes, wind up over here with 30. Again, we have made two boxes right over here, wind up till 30, right? And this is the box. In the box presentation, we will just make a sequence of the job. That this is the sequence of the job and the virtual. This is also again so showing the values in this way. Okay. So just delete if you feel like something is out of your box. Just I'm using it so that it can be a finished way. Okay, this is not way. Okay, so just have an align once again on this and make it more properly clear for you. Okay, now it's done. Now what we have to do, just make a table presentation starting with the sequence only, as we have to follow the proper sequence rules only. So start up with the sequence, find out we have to start with the, say example in the machine 1, the job sequence it is given for the machine. Same, the follow, you have to follow the sequencing of the job. Say it is given in the upper question, with the question we have just done up. Hope you remember the sequence, having a look on the sequence. The sequence is J2, J4, J3, J5 and J1. So you have to follow the total sequence time only. I have given over here, it is, I am just assuming this is machine 1, right? We have given two machine and machine 2, Right. Now applying with the sequence J2. J2 starts with 0 time and it will come up at 1 time. Right, for machine 1. So 0 is over here. And 1, you have to start with the 0 and then you have to put it 1. So just have a sequence of this way. 1 will come up over here. Right. So this is my J2. I can make it with like different colors if you feel like, with different shapes. Like this is my J2, right? I just made up. Now I have to start with the 0 to 1, which we have done up. 0 to 1, right? This will be a 1. Now it's J4, 1 to 4. As a 3 is the processing time in between, and the 4 is the wind up time. So we start off with this. I'm just taking the pen black only. 1, and then we have to complete till 4. So this is your 4 point. Make it over here and line it over here. So this is 4 and this is your J4, right? J4, you can use different shapes like I can using in a, like this way now. Right, this is your second sequence. Now I'm starting with the third sequence is your J3, that is from 4 to 13. So 4 till 13 will be come up in between 12 and 14. So I'm marking a line over here. Yes, right. And this is my J3. Right. You can change some colors or you just make it a shape of a different. This is my one job, that is J3. Right. Now we have started with the J5, that is starting from 13 till 23, 13, and this will be 23 in between 22 and 40. So this is my J5, right? And changing the shape again for this, you can do it in a different directions or different things. For example, I'm doing it this way, right? This is my J5. Now J last one, that is a J1, and J1 is starting from 23 and ending till 28. So this is my 28 and my work is being completed over here. That is J1. Like it is completed till 28. Like this is again a new work, that is J1. So now it is showing till 28 and this is my idle time for machine 1, right? This is idle time. Now coming up with the same process for the M2 machine, like M2 machine start at 1 and wind up till 7. So we start up again, we're starting in the same process. This is 1, so we have to start with the 1. See students, then if you are saying ma'am we have to start with the 1, so that means it is an idle. Yes, this is an idle. So you can write it over here as an idle. So it indicates ID. I just shows that as an idle time. Right, for machine 2 is the idle remain for 1 minute, as it is over there also seems to be like it has to wait for 1 minute and then only the work will be started. So 1 to 7 again 6 to 8 will be like 1 to 7. Like this is my J2, the starting point, shaded with different colors. If you feel like just it is make a visual presentation that this J2 is working on. Now we start up with the J4. J4 will be start at 7 and wind up till 15. So this is my 7 and the 15 will come up in between 14 and 16. Then you can change this directions of this, and I'm taking the direction in this way. You can do in any directions, right? You are just a visual presentation and making it more graphically presentable, right? Now this is my J4. Right, now coming up to the J3, J3 started with 15 until 22, 15 until this is 22 on the same point, and that is J3. Now the important points arises. Now you have to look it listen it properly, have a look it properly, analyze it properly. Like now, what once we J3 is done up, when we are starting with the J5, hope you remember that J5 has to actually wait for 1 minute, as we have discussed, has to wait for 1 minute. So here would be an idle time. How much idle time will be there? 22 to 23. So just have to block it over here, write it as an idle time or waiting time that you have to wait up because the 22 that they have completed up, but still work is going on. So you have to wait up as you done up earlier. So we will wait for that. You have to set it and then we will start up with the next work, that is J5, and that is started from 23 till 27. So this is 27 and we will do the work of like completing this way. And this is my which job? This is my J5 work, right? And now coming up further, the last one again there is a smart working. Let's see, you have to check it. Yes, they again has waited from 26. There it is 27 and here it is 28. That means you have to wait up for 1 minute again. Make it like this. Write it an ID in between so that you remember that this is the waiting time again for the N2 idle time. Then the last one, that is the J1, started up at 28 and wind up at till 30. So now this is done for J1. And this is all the way how we present the diagram with the help of sequencing problem. And this is the sometimes like very important and asked by the organization to present the job in a proper like graphical presentation. So we can do in this way and hope it is able to find out the idle time. So see over here we are able to find out the different idle time. Just a look, I'm just changing the colors to make it more highlighting to you. See, this is my idle time for machine 2. This is the idle time 2, and this is the third one, right? So they can be find out this way how we are working up and how your answer will be presented. So as we have done this question, hope you like the question and hope you able to process your machine. So this question, what we have done, we have given different jobs, but we have given two machines. Like in this question, what is given? We have passing from the two machine is given over there, but n number of jobs are there. Yes, you have to follow this concept only, right? And if you have any problem, you can ask from the given mentioned number. Thank you so much for today's session. In the next session, we will go further more on the practical questions.